What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, I'm obviously out here back in the woods, and I wanted to talk about silver. Surprise, surprise. But I wanted to talk about the difference between, and also the pros and cons when it comes to 3/9 fine and 4/9 fine pure silver. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos, subscribe to my second channel for weekly videos, get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club, which is where I do giveaways every single month. Join before April 1st to get in on the one that I have going on right now. Live streams multiple times a week. Deal alerts on silver and gold almost every single day. You can watch all of my videos early and commercial free. You can watch Sunday's video right now if you want to. And this morning, I just posted a brand new adventure vlog. And of course, make sure to go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. Everything will be linked in the description. So today is Saturday, March 26th, 2022. Believe it or not, it's Tuesday the 22nd as I'm filming right now, which means I have no idea what the spot price of silver or gold will be by the time this video drops. I'm not a psychic. So head on down to the comments and let me know the date and time you're viewing the video and what the current spot price is for you. I'm always curious. All right, so I wanted to talk about silver eagles and silver maples today. More specifically, I wanted to talk about the purity of each of those coins. And I figured I can very easily sit down, hit record with my camera pointed at a bunch of little coins on the table on this beautiful day, or I could just come out here, talk about what I want to talk about while getting a little bit of fresh air, sunlight, and exercise. Feels good to be back on my foot. I actually cut my foot open a couple of days ago. Miserable. Wasn't that bad, but it was in the worst possible spot. I couldn't walk. It felt like my foot was on fire. So I'm finally back on my feet. Finally back to hitting this trail, which from right here all the way around, right back to this very spot, it's half a mile. So 2 quick and easy laps is an easy way of getting a mile in. So anyway, today I wanted to talk about the difference between 3/9 fine and 4/9 fine pure silver coins. See, as of lately, the last year and a half to 2 years, I've really been dialed in and focused on 90% junk constitutional silver, clearly not pure silver. It's been a while since I've picked up any pure silver at all. In fact, I can't even remember the last time I picked up any pure silver coins, rounds or bars, by the way. So being that this video is more than likely going to end up being probably on the lengthier side, because there's quite a bit that I want to talk about, let's get it out of the way quick. When it comes to 3/9 fine, for example, the American Silver Eagle, or when it comes to 4/9 fine, the Canadian Silver Maple. What's the difference? I'm not talking about the difference between the coins. Pretty sure we know that. But what's the difference between different levels of purity? What's the difference between 3/9 and 4/9 fine pure silver? 3/9 fine pure silver, 4/9 fine pure silver. What's the difference? In short, the difference is so insignificant, it doesn't make a bit of a difference to me. The best way I could explain it for people to understand that don't really know what we're talking about when it comes to 3/9s, 4/9s, like what does that mean to somebody who doesn't know anything about silver? Think of it like this. 3/9s fine is 99.9% pure silver. 4 nines fine is 99.99% silver. Barely a difference. They're both pure silver. That's really it. That's what it comes down to. The 4 nines fine coins have a very slightly higher level of purity, like medical grade silver, basically. While the Silver Eagle or other 3 nines fine silver coins, you can kind of consider them to be 99.9% pure silver. Still pure silver. Doesn't make a bit of a difference to me, somebody that's stacking for weight. I personally don't care. And I know that there's always going to be people out there being like, oh, it's not 99.9, it's 99.94, 99.95. Couldn't be further from what I'm talking about. In fact, that actually proves my point a little bit more. It's even closer together, if you want to go that far. But the easiest way I can explain it, so that people who don't really fully know or don't understand just yet can get a little bit of an idea, or they can gauge the difference. The difference is so small and so insignificant, barely a difference at all. 99.9 versus 99.99. That's the difference. We're talking about a fraction of a percent or a percent of a fraction at this point. Doesn't make a bit of a difference to me, which is why from the very beginning I started stacking both. And to be honest with you, I don't even really put them in separate categories. I don't really classify them as anything different from one another. Pure silver is pure silver if it's pure silver as far as I'm concerned. What I do put in another category would be the 90% junk constitutional silver. That is definitely something that I put in a different category. That's a different class. That's not pure silver. So when I first got started stacking, the tail end of 2017, I actually wasn't stacking any Silver Eagles or Silver Maples. I was stacking basic generic secondary market silver rounds. Now, of course, typically a silver round is going to be 3 nines fine. Again, doesn't make a bit of a difference. I actually do have some silver rounds that are 4 nines fine. I don't like them or dislike them any more or less than any of my other pieces of silver. Doesn't make a bit of a difference. But when I got started, my very first piece of silver ever was just a simple little silver round that I picked up from the local coin shop. That was my very first piece of silver. And after a couple of months, I had decided for myself that I was going to, what I like to call, graduate on to government minted coins. Now, my decision had absolutely nothing to do with the purity of different types of pieces of silver. I just wanted to go after pieces of silver that had a higher level of notoriety, pieces of silver that were just more recognizable, more trusted, desired, respected, sought after, no matter where I go. Now, of course, silver at the end of the day. There are a lot of people who are stacking the same way I'm stacking, where it doesn't really make a bit of a difference what it is, as long as it's silver. So in the event that I need to get rid of a little bit of my silver, there are plenty of people out there similar to me who will say, I don't care what it is, I just want the silver. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But in the event that there is a little bit of a challenge, or you have something that isn't recognizable, or whoever it is that you're potentially selling to just doesn't know what it is, or they don't want it, or they know, like, hey, that's not nearly as recognizable as a government minted coin, I only want the coins, I don't want the generic silver. You could run into something like that, which is why I'm so big into diversification. There's a person standing up there. I don't want to get in their way or put somebody on camera if they don't want to be on camera, so I'll hang out here for a bit. But I graduated onto coins for that reason right there. Now keep in mind, when I started, it was 2017. Moving on into 2018. Back then, premiums barely even existed. So it's not even anything worth touching on just yet, going back to 2018 that is, you really don't even need to mention premiums if you're talking about pre-2020, because back then, premiums were so insignificant. A generic silver round was like, I think it was like $1 to maybe $1.50 over spot. A Maple Leaf was $1.50, $1.75 over spot. Silver Eagle was $1.50 to maybe $2 over spot. All very, very close together. So the difference in premium when it comes to generic rounds versus Silver Eagles, back then, there really was no difference. Barely a difference at all. So I remember saying to myself, being that the premiums are so close together, even though the premiums in Silver Eagles were a little bit higher, I thought that it was worth it. I knew that it was worth it. And I said to myself, just by paying a little bit higher of a premium for a Silver Eagle versus a generic silver round, which is what I was used to, I'm getting so much more value out of it. That's what I said to myself. And this was 2018. This is when I was pretty much brand new to stacking silver. Oh man, I got people coming from all ends over here. But that's what I said to myself. I said that I was going to be getting far more value. And at the end of the day, that's the question that you need to ask yourself when it comes to anything. When it comes to stacking, when it comes to investing, or when it comes to just making a purchase of some sort. It doesn't really matter what it is that you are considering or contemplating putting your dollars into, converting it into precious metals, investing in, I don't know, a rental property or index funds or something like that, or a business of some sort, or if you're just buying something from the store. You need to ask yourself this question. Does the value exceed the cost, or does the cost exceed the value? This is something that I have asked myself every single time I'm moving currency around. Every single time. This is what I ask myself, and this is what I try to decipher. Does the value exceed the cost, or does the cost exceed the value? Because if the value exceeds the cost, I buy, I invest, or I stack. If the value exceeds if the cost exceeds the value, I say, no thank you, have a nice day, goodbye. That's just my way of doing things. That's what has made the most sense for me, and that's how I'll continue to do things. But back then in 2018, I knew enough to ask myself that question: does the value exceed the cost when it comes to Silver Eagles, or should I just stick to generic silver rounds? The answer was yes, the value does exceed the cost. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that you don't get any value out of generic silver rounds. You absolutely do. I believe so, which is why I continue to stack silver rounds. But I decided to predominantly shift my focus to the American Silver Eagle. And the reason I chose that particular coin had 100% to do with geography. I decided that I believe it's the best bet to make the coin of your country the foundation of your stack. So if I lived in Austria, I would have been predominantly stacking the Austrian Philharmonic. If I lived in Mexico, the foundation of my stack would have been the Mexican Libertad. If I lived in, I don't know, Australia, I would have been predominantly stacking the Australian Kangaroo. That's what I had decided for myself. I personally believe, and I still believe this, by the way, I don't think that it needs to be the pure silver coin of your country necessarily, but at the time, I wasn't all that interested in junk silver. I'm over here just waiting for that person to go away. So it doesn't need to be the pure silver coin of your country, but at the time, that's all I was really interested in. I was only really focused on stacking pure silver. So I just figured, if I'm going to be stacking pure silver anyway, probably stand a far better chance, or it might be a little bit better of an idea, to make the American Silver Eagle the foundation of my stack. That's the coin of my country, because I'm an American. Thank God. So that's my story of how I got into Silver Eagles and why I graduated on from generic rounds to Silver Eagles, I guess you can say. But it wasn't the Silver Eagle that I was only focusing on at that point. Like I said before, I continued picking up some generic rounds for a while. But when it comes to pure silver coins, I decided to also begin picking up some maple leafs as well. Why not stack both of these right here? Obviously more Silver Eagles than maples, but I thought that they were very good coins. I knew that they were very good coins, and based on the research that I had done, I decided for myself, after comparing and contrasting, looking at the pros and the cons, figuring out what made the most sense, what made the least sense, where I should be converting my dollars. At the end of the day, silver, but we gotta get a little bit more specific. Okay, yeah, trade my dollars for silver. Okay, next step is what kind of silver? Silver from where? What level of purity? So like I said, I decided to make the Silver Eagle the base of my stack, but second in command has always been the Canadian maple leaf. Now, I didn't have an exact strategy, how many maples I'd pick up for how many eagles I'd pick up. I have absolutely no idea, but if I had to guess, I would say probably maybe one maple for every, I don't know, every 5 to 10 eagles or something like that. I have no idea. But point being is I was stacking Silver Eagles way more aggressively than I was stacking maple leafs. And at the time, I was actually going out of my way to pick up cull maple leafs. I've explained this in the past. I have mint tubes for Silver Eagles and silver maple leafs with labels on them that say cull. That way I can tell just by looking at them which ones are the uncirculated and which ones are the culls. Which, by the way, by the time this video comes out, it's almost the end of the month, so just friendly reminder, if you need any Amazon affiliate links for any of the stacking supplies that I use or any of the prepping products that I use, mint tubes, anti-tarnish paper, coin microscopes, airtights, all of that when it comes to stacking, or portable power stations, water purification units, food dehydrators, anything like that when it comes to prepping. I have included all of the Amazon affiliate links for the last couple of years, but at the end of the month, I'm actually removing all of them from the description of my videos from here on out. So you only have a couple of days left to use them, so get them while you can. If you want to, the resources are there, only for the next couple of days. But point being was that, because I was just talking about mint tubes in case anybody needs them. But back to mint tubes for a second. I have separate mint tubes for separate reasons. I have mint tubes for different kinds of coins, and I have mint tubes for different kind of coins that are in different kind of condition. Some uncirculated, some cull. But the reason I would go after the culls, I would go after them on purpose. This was intentional. I would go out of my way to find cull maple leafs, which just essentially means maple leafs that are milk spotted, or maybe a little bit scratched up, or toned or tarnished, just not in pristine condition. That's basically what cull means. It just means damaged. Maybe a little bit, maybe quite a bit, doesn't matter. Cull is cull. So the reason I would go after these is because it broke down the premiums even more. Like I said, the premiums back then barely even existed. But I had noticed at the time by comparing and contrasting, because I couldn't find any Maple Leafs at my local coin shop. That's where I would get my generic rounds from, and it's where I get my 90% silver from. But my local coin shop isn't really a coin shop, it's an antique shop. They just have a section of their store dedicated to coins or silver. They don't have a whole lot of the coins that I'm typically looking for, or back then was looking for, Silver Eagles and Maple Leafs and whatnot. So I couldn't find the Maple Leafs I was looking for at the local coin shop. So what I would do is, back then I didn't really think much of it. I would get probably half of my silver online. I no longer do that. Support the local coin shop, support small businesses, support your LCS, which stands for local coin shop, but in case anybody asks that you don't want to know that you're stacking silver, you can let them know it stands for locally canned soup, and then just walk away, let them figure it out. So I would get cull maples online, and that's how they were listed, by the way. You can get Maple Leafs, or you can get cull Maple Leafs. Now, a lot of the time, as soon as they were in stock, they'd get wiped out pretty quick, because a lot of people would just go after the cull Maple Leafs because they were a little bit cheaper. And I would compare and contrast the difference when it comes to the price tag. And something that I had learned very early on, this was like, at the time, this was like the ultimate stack hack. I had noticed that you can actually get cull silver Maple Leafs cheaper than you could generic silver rounds, just simply because they were a little bit discolored or maybe had some scratches or whatever. The only difference. You tell me which you would prefer. Just pause the video and let me know in the comments. If you had to choose between a generic silver round in good condition, 1 troy ounce generic silver round, or a slightly damaged or discolored pure silver 1 troy ounce coin for the same price, which would you pick? I'm willing to bet most people would pick the coin. But here's the thing, it wasn't the same price. The coin ended up being cheaper because of the condition that it was in. And a lot of the time, it didn't even look like it was damaged. There might have been just some like little micro scratches on the face of the coin that you can't even really see that well with your bare eye. You gotta put it under a microscope to tell. Half the time, that's what they looked like. Or maybe they had some milk spots or a little bit of discoloration, whatever the case may be. On day one, I was stacking silver to get the physical silver content. What do I care what condition it's in? As long as it doesn't have a big gaping hole in it, which means it weighs less than what it's supposed to weigh, what do I care? So that was the ultimate stack hack at the time. Cull Maple Leafs. And guess what? Nobody was talking about it back then. In 2018, there was nobody recommending or suggesting. I don't even think people even really knew, because they weren't really advertised on the websites. You had to dig for them on the websites. But that was my thing. I would pick up Silver Eagles, and I would go after a lot of cull Maple Leafs. Now, of course, I'd pick up some cull Silver Eagles from time to time, and of course, I'd pick up some uncirculated maples from time to time. But that was my strategy back then. And it worked out quite well. Because look what happened. Again, this was 2018. Fast forward 2 years, 2020, when everything got flipped upside down. The premiums on absolutely everything went up, but they went up especially high on the Silver Eagle, which is what I consider to be the superior 1 troy ounce pure silver coin, minted by a sovereign government. See, a lot of people, a coin, it doesn't really need to have a security feature, but if it's minted by a sovereign government, in a weird way, that's almost like a security feature in and of itself. And I think a lot of people view it that way as well. Now, of course, if it has actual security features, that makes it even better. But if it doesn't, hey, at the very least, it's minted by a sovereign government, which in a weird way is kind of somewhat of a security feature to some degree. So pretty much overnight, the spot price of silver got pretty much chopped in half, and it rebounded pretty quick, by the way. The crash of 2020 took everything out. Silver got chopped nearly in half. Gold came down by a couple $100. The stock market completely collapsed, essentially. A lot of small businesses got wiped out entirely, many of which got wiped out permanently. Massive corporations even took a massive hit as well. All in the blink of an eye. But when silver rebounded pretty quick, the premiums didn't. See, I always tell people that the premiums went up originally for one reason, but they stayed up for another reason. They went up originally because coin shops and online precious metal dealing websites, they needed to make up for the currency that they were about to lose. See, like I said before, what were premiums like back then? $1 or $2 over spot? Well, if spot price was, let's just say $18 plus a $2 premium, $20. Do you think it's sustainable to keep those $2 premiums when silver got chopped all the way down to $11.90? Probably not. If they were prepared to sell each individual piece for $20, and now spot price is basically $12, if they kept the premiums where they were, that would have meant each ounce of silver, premium included, would have been about $14, which, man, a guy could dream. A guy can dream. That'd be fantastic for us. That'd be fantastic for the customers. Would it be fantastic for the businesses? Probably not. And they knew that, which is why the premiums went up just as fast as spot price went down. Blink of an eye. But when spot price recovered and went back to where it was, the premiums didn't come down. And a lot of people were confused by this. They're like, hey, what the heck's going on over here? You raised the premiums to prevent losing currency. Spot price is back up where it was. You ain't losing currency anymore. What's going on? And like I said, it went up for one reason, which was to prevent losing currency. It stayed up for another reason, and that's because we, the customers, the stackers, whatever you want to call us, we taught them that regardless of what price tag they stick on it, we'll stomp our feet and complain, but we'll still pay. That's what we taught them, which is why one of the reasons why I would much rather support the local coin shop as close to 100% as possible. I believe local coin shops typically, maybe not every single one of them, but for the most part, I think small businesses, coin shops, and shopping locally, I think people like that usually have the customer's interest, near the top of their priority list. While a lot of these online precious metal dealing websites, doesn't matter to them, they have an international customer base. They make hundreds of millions of dollars a year. What do they care? In fact, they can make, if they're making $100 million this year, they can make $200 million next year by just doubling what their prices are, because guess what? People are still going to pay. So we can point the finger all we want, but we let them know. We showed them, we told them, we explained that we will pay. So that's my explanation for why the premiums did not come back down when spot price went back up. But either way, in the blink of an eye, when spot price recovered, and then when it just kept going up and up and up and up, I mean, during that craziness, it went all the way up to $30 for a split second, and it spent quite a bit of time at $29. Remember, premiums no longer $1, $2 over spot. Premiums back then were like $5, $6, $7 over spot. On Silver Eagles, they were even more, $10 at least. I don't remember the last time I saw a Silver Eagle being advertised for anything less than $10 over spot. So when spot price was $29, Silver Eagles were being sold for at least $39. And a majority of the time, they were being sold in the 40s. So all of the Silver Eagles that I picked up in previous years, back when spot price was $14, $15, $16, $17, $18, and premiums were only $1.50 to maybe $2 over spot, my average cost on Silver Eagles were incredibly low. And all of a sudden they were considered or perceived to be worth so much more than a lot of the other pure silver 1 troy ounce pieces out there. So that's just a little bit of a backstory or my story when it comes to Silver Eagles. But I was stacking silver maple leafs alongside them the entire way through. And it was mainly just for diversification. I just figured, I was like, well, there are a lot of different 1 troy ounce pure silver coins out there. There's the Eagle, the Maple, the Kangaroo, the Britannia, the Philharmonic, the Libertad, the list goes on. And I would say the Silver Eagle is the superior coin of them all. But I would say all of the ones that I just listed, or at the very least a majority of the ones that I just listed, I would say most of them are probably tied for second. I don't think any of them are superior to the others. I think it's the Silver Eagle, and I know for sure the Maple Leaf and the Libertad, they're definitely up there in second place. The Britannia, I would say, is up there in second place. I don't know if you'd really want to put the Philharmonic or the Kangaroo up there in second place. They might be third, but their rankings don't really matter all that much. Point being is that they're all incredible coins. They're all amazing. I stack each and every one of them, although I haven't in a little bit of time. I've been focusing more on 90% the last maybe 2 years, year and a half to 2 years. But I'm glad I did what I did. I'm glad I focused so much of my attention on Silver Eagles, with that being the base of my stack, as well as the Maple Leaf being second in command. I'm glad I did that. Timing was impeccable, and it wasn't even on purpose. And then when I shifted my focus to 90% silver, that was right around the time that the premiums on absolutely everything got hiked up through the roof. But at the time, at the very beginning, the premiums on 90% silver hadn't really budged all that much. You were able to get an incredible bang for your buck on 90% in the beginning to the middle of 2020. The premiums on everything went through the roof, but 90% silver, you were still able to get it for a fairly low premium. So again, I didn't time these things on purpose. It just worked out the way that it did. But I just wanted to come on here and talk about my experience with the Silver Eagle and the Silver Maple Leaf, and talk a little bit about the difference between 3 9s and 4 9s fine pure silver coins. At the end of the day, silver is silver. At the end of the day, coins are coins. At the end of the day, pure silver is pure silver. So I don't really see all that much of a difference, at least not when it comes to the premium. I think the name, the brand, the ability to be recognized, its level of trust, respect, and how many people are after that particular coin, I think that matters far more than the level of purity. So something that's 99.9% pure silver versus something that's 99.99% pure silver, that doesn't make a bit of a difference to me. That's not what I look at. Even back then when I was focusing on pure silver. 3 versus 4 9s fine, such an insignificant difference. A fraction of a percent or a percent of a fraction of a difference. They're both pure silver. As far as I'm concerned, that's what matters, or that's what mattered. Back then, I thought that pure silver coins were just better than 90% silver coins. Now, somebody could say that. Somebody could say that pure silver is better than junk silver. But then again, somebody else can say that junk silver is better than pure silver. That right there is not a fair comparison. That right there is just an opinion, because they both have their pros and their cons. When it comes to 3/9 fine versus 4/9 fine, I definitely don't think that there's much of a difference at all. Doesn't matter to me. They're the same thing as far as I'm concerned. But I have gotten comments from people in the past. Now, I haven't gotten these comments in a while. I haven't gotten these comments since probably before 2020, to be honest with you. But I used to get comments from time to time from people talking about that they only stack 4/9s fine because it's better than 3/9s fine. They think that it's superior. Now, when it comes to being a higher level of purity, yeah, it is superior. But that's not what mattered to me. And I don't believe I've ever received comments from anybody saying that they refuse to stack 4/9s and only stack 3/9s. I don't know if I've ever gotten any of those comments, because I don't think anybody would say that a slightly lower level of purity is superior to a higher level of purity when it comes to purity, because that's just not anything that would make sense. I do know there are a lot of people who prefer the Silver Eagle over the Maple, though, for a variety of different reasons. Maybe we can go back to the rankings on which one's better or more recognizable. When it comes to appearance, need I say more? What do you want? You want the Walking Liberty or you want the Queen? So I think when it comes to appearance, I think we can all probably agree. But then again, if we were to look at the reverse, absolutely beautiful. I think they're both incredible. And I like them both for different reasons. I like the Silver Eagle just because really anything with like American symbolism, I don't care if it's a bald eagle, I don't care if it's a flag, I don't care if it's the Statue of Liberty, I don't care if it's the Liberty Bell, I don't care if it's the Scales of Justice. Anything like that I'm just naturally drawn to. I love America, what can I say? And I like things that represent America. But at the same time, if we look at the maple leaf, I'm also a huge fan of nature. I like different types of leaves and trees and animals and whatnot, and Canada just has a knack for coming up with coins with just beautiful designs, like nature designs. So appearance when it comes to the reverse, both stunning. Appearance when it comes to the obverse, I don't know, maybe you prefer the Queen, but I prefer the Walking Liberty. It's all personal preference at the end of the day. It's not anything that matters. Even how it looks doesn't matter. When it's all melted down, it's all the same stuff anyway. So anyway, those are just some of my thoughts. That's what I wanted to talk about in today's video. I want to do a little bit of a comparison between 3/9s and 4/9s fine pure silver. Talk a little bit about the difference between the Eagle and the Maple, and obviously ended up spending quite a bit of time talking about my stacking story from 2017 into 2018, and what I was doing in 2018 is pretty much what I carried on into 2019. I hadn't really changed up a whole lot, except that's when I started to integrate 90% silver to the stack. And then 2020 happened. That was beyond my control, and when things happen, just like running a business, you gotta have a business continuity plan. And I had a stacking continuity plan, and I had to reassess, reevaluate, figure out what was going on, figure out what makes the most sense, where do I need to shift my focus. And at that point, that's why I really turned to 90% and just really started to neglect the pure silver. But anyway, those are some of my thoughts on that right there. I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. When it comes to 4/9s fine, when it comes to 3/9s fine, do you have a preference? Does it matter to you in any way, shape, or form? Or are you pretty much on the same page as me when it comes to it just not mattering. Doesn't matter. Doesn't make a bit of a difference. Pure silver's pure silver. That's how I see it. Or do you genuinely prefer one over the other? Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. If you guys like today's video, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Make sure to come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club, which is where I do giveaways every single month. I have one going on right now. Join before April 1st if you want to get entered. I do live streams multiple times a week. I do deal alerts on silver and gold almost every single day. You can watch all of my videos early and commercial free. You can watch Sunday's video right now if you want to. And of course, every single Saturday morning, I post a brand new vlog. This one was pretty interesting. You're going to want to watch that. And there are a ton of other perks as well. VIP Club link in the description. Go and get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. We got t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs, and a bunch of different designs. And a lot of the products are actually helping raise a little bit of funds and awareness for different charity organizations. DYDSS store will also be linked in the description. And of course, last but certainly not least, make sure to go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. Normally it's 2 free stocks. They bumped it up to 5 for just this month. So you only have a couple days left. Get that while you can, and it can be a deposit of as little as a penny. It still works. You still get the 5 free stocks. So go ahead and do that. If you refer 1 friend by the end of the month, Webull will give you 10 free stocks for the referral. Another time-sensitive promo. It ends in just a couple of days, so capitalize on that while you can. And of course, if you refer 3 friends by the end of the month, Webull's going to give you a spin on the spin wheel, which guarantees you at least 1 free share of Apple, with the chance of winning 2, 3, 5, 7, maybe even 10 free shares of Apple. All you got to do is click the little invite button, send it to a couple people that you know. If you refer 3 people, boom, you get 1 to 10 free shares of Apple. Once again, time sensitive, so capitalize on that while you can. Webull link in the description. Time is running out. If you don't want the stocks, go and get them anyway. Sell them. Congratulations. Now you have the currency to go and get you some money if that's what you want. Webull link in the description. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know once again, when it comes to 3 9s versus 4 9s fine pure silver coins, do you have an actual preference, or are they virtually identical as far as you're concerned? That's pretty much where I'm at. The real difference between the two is just one is 99.9% pure, the other one's 99.99% pure. That's the best way I can explain it. Do you have a preference between the different levels of purity? And then, of course, when it comes to the actual coin itself, do you have a preference between the Eagle and the Maple? And now that we're getting to the very end of the first quarter of 2022, are you still stacking either of those coins? Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.